Hello chess friends and welcome to the channel. In today's video, one of the best games of the American legend Harry Nelson Pillsbury. The year is 1902 and Pillsbury, even if sick, he died only 4 years later in Philadelphia, is traveling and competing all over Europe. The game that we are going to watch is Pillsbury vs Marshall played in Hannover. Let's get started. Pillsbury with the white pieces opens with d4. Marshall answers with d5. c4, e6, knight to c3, and here comes c5. This is the Tarrasch Defense. Knight to f3, knight to c6, and now bishop to f4, that nowadays is a sideline. C captures on d4, also attacking the knight recaptures on d4, and now a6, controlling b5. Here comes e4, now suddenly not only Pillsbury is pushing in the center, but d5 is 3 times under attack. So Marshall answers, developing the queen that is attacking both the knight and the pawn on b2. This position probably the only mistake made by Pillsbury, that retreats the knight to b3 so that the knight is not under attack anymore and the same knight is shielding b2. But it was better to change the knight on c6 because now black takes a strong initiative. In fact, here comes d4 with tempo against the knight, knight to e2, now d4 is under attack, but Marshall can play the strong e5 that is protecting the pawn, cementing the center, and also attacking the bishop. This position, black is much better than white. Bishop back to d2, now bishop to g4 is pinning the knight, but here comes f3, the bishop moves back to his best square that is e6, attacking c4, and now with knight to g3, this light square bishop is protecting the pawn. Now this is the first critical moment of the game. Marshall, that is a strong attacking player, sees red like a bull, and he continues with d3, that is a pawn sacrifice to open the d5. Let's go back one move. Much better, also with modern evaluation of the position, much better is to develop his pieces. Knight to f6 is the best line. Of course, now bishop to d3, that is developing the bishop, also blocking this pass pawn. But here comes knight to b4 attacking the bishop, knight to c1 protecting the bishop, knight to d7. The idea is the strong jump with the knight to c5, then bishop to e7. And black really has a strong positional advantage in this position. But let's go back to our game. After Pillsbury continues with knight to g3, Marshall sees that there is the chance to an aerial attack and continues with d3, but this is a mistake that loses all the advantage. Bishop captures on d3, now long castle with the rook that seems dominating this d5. This was Marshall's plan, but here comes queen to e2 protecting this bishop, and now the real mistake, that is knight to d4. Let's go back one move. Knight to b4 is one of the few moves to keep playing with an equal position, because now bishop to e3 attacking the queen, queen to c7, rook to d1 giving the second protection to the bishop, knight captures on a2, regain the pawn, even if the d-pawn was more important, but then the knight can jump back, taking away or trying to take away the bishop pair, and when Marshall will be able to develop the king side, the game is more or less equal. Let's go back to our game. After queen to e2, we said the knight jump to d4 is a real mistake, because now after knight captures on d4, there is queen captures on d4. This bishop is 2 times under attack, but long castle solves all the problem because completes the development and tactically defends d3. With this move, Pillsbury takes the upper hand. In fact, now black doesn't capture the bishop. Let's watch what happens. If queen captures on d3, not played by Marshall, there is bishop to a5. The queen is under attack, and if doesn't capture the queen on e2, is lost. But after queen captures on e2, there is rook captures on d8, checkmate. Let's go back to our game. That's why after long castle, Marshall continues with queen to c5, with the queen away from the d5, also controlling a5. Now king to b1 is a calm move, but really precise move. Knight to e7, and now bishop to e3, attacking the queen. Queen to a5, with queen to f2, white is threatening this winning fork bishop to b6. Now rook to d6, also rook to d7 are the best moves. Instead here comes king to c7, that is yes controlling this b6 square, but is a bit ugly. With knight to e2, Pillsbury wants to bring also the knight to the attack. Here comes b5, because even if knight to c6 is the best move, Marshall is feeling the danger, and so he goes all in. But after b5, there is bishop to d2 attacking the queen, b4 shielding the queen, and queen to a7 we check. King to c6, knight to c1 is protecting the bishop that was under attack, also with the idea to jump to b3 with tempo against the queen. Knight to c8 is attacking the queen, but also blocking the defensive action of the rook on a8. So there is queen to a8 we check, king to c7, bishop to e3, and now knight to d6 with the discovered attack against the queen. But again there is queen to a7 we check, knight to b7 shields the king, knight to b3 comes with tempo against the queen, queen to a4 is the only square to save the queen. But here comes bishop to b6 we check, the mating net is tighter than ever. Here comes king to c6, but after knight to a4 we check, Marshall resigns. This knight can be captured, but let's watch what happens if black continues with knight captures on a5. Queen to c7 is already checkmate, and let's go back to our knight to a5 we check, if king to d7, bishop to c2, discover a check, wins the queen, and checkmate is coming soon. So, how to summarize this game? A couple of inaccuracies in the opening gave Marshall a strong position advantage, but Pillsbury, that is a modern player, didn't rush his moves, but instead he defended carefully and actively, and after Marshall's mistake, he was able to regain a strong initiative. With the initiative in hand, then as usual, he unleashed one of his fast and unstoppable attacks. In the next days, new Queen Sacrifice games, Wesley So Petrosian, and a couple of Murphy games. I hope that you liked today's video. Thank you very much for watching, and see you tomorrow. Goodbye!